guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. My returning subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of the likes and the comments. It really does mean a lot to me. And to new viewers, thank you for clicking, and I'm glad that you found me here on YouTube. I do hope that you enjoy the reading today and that the messages will resonate with you. Just keep in mind that these are general readings, so messages may or may not resonate with you. Be sure to check out, in addition to your sun sign, whatever your sun sign might be, also listen to the readings for your moon sign and your rising sign, because sometimes, if one doesn't really resonate, if you listen to all three of them, you will probably get a very good, or a more balanced sort of overview of what is going on or the energy surrounding you during that period. So today's reading, it is a mid-monthly reading for the last 2 weeks of December. So we're looking at the energy surrounding us from December 15th through the end of the month. And for the last 2 weeks, what I'm doing is I'm dividing the reading. So half of the reading is focused on career, finance, jobs, that type of mess, looking at those type of messages coming through. And for that portion of the reading, I will be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and that's by Colette Baron-Reid. And I'm also using some additional Oracle cards this time because I recently acquired a few decks, and so I would like to include them, and I'll probably be using them more in upcoming readings. So I'll be using one card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle card deck, as well as from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. Okay, and then for the love and relationship and romance portion of the reading, I'll be using the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid. And I will be pulling two additional cards, one from the Whispers of Love Oracle card deck, and one card from the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. So more cards this time. The reading might run a little bit longer, but it's, as it's the last mid-monthly reading for this year, I decided to sort of include a few more cards. If you would like a personal reading, focusing on you, what is going on in your life right now, and it's a good time to do that sort of at the end of the year, beginning of a new year. It's a good time to kind of take a look at what the energies are surrounding you, whether it's in the area of career and finance or love and romance. That would be with a private reading. So if you're interested in that, you can check out my site. There you will find pricing as well as information about the types of readings that I offer. And the site is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. Or you can email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. And another thing you might consider, it is the holiday season, whatever that means to you and however you celebrate it. Some people like receiving tarot card readings, right, as a gift. It's something that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily pay to have for them, for themselves. So getting it as a gift, it's a nice surprise. So if you're interested in that, you can also email me and and pay for a reading for somebody else and gift that to them, right, as a holiday gift. So just to keep in mind. But I won't take up any more time talking. I will go ahead and stop this introduction so I can get into the readings for all of the signs. Okay, so thanks again for joining me, and see you in 1 minute for the reading. Hi Cancer, hope you're doing well. So I'm here today to do your mid-monthly reading for December. So this is for the energy surrounding us from the middle of the month, around the 15th, 16th, through the end of December 2017. Now, what I've done is a little bit different. One, because I'm not at home right now. I'm actually on the road, so I have I brought things with me, but I'm not in my usual surroundings. So, and also to try to save time, because the first couple of videos that I did for the mid-monthly, they were very long. And I know people's time is very precious. And, I do try to keep my readings around the 30-minute mark. So I decided to shuffle off camera. So what you see, I've already laid out here. We have along the top row, these are the cards for the love, romance, relationship portion of the reading. And then along the bottom, we have the cards for the career and finance portion of the reading. And I did for this month, since it is, and I did mention this in the introduction, but since it's the last mid-monthly of the year, I decided to pull additional oracle cards. And so for those, typically I just read the messages that, that each card has, and then we'll tie it in with the rest of the reading. Okay, so I'll begin with the cards that we have here along the front row. Okay, and I'll hold them up because it's harder to see them here. So the card that we had at the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for this 2-week period is the Two of Air. This would be the Two of Swords in the traditional tarot deck. But the Two of Air, so air energy, this is the sword suit. And the sword suit has to do with, it's our mental, right? It's mental energy, cerebral energy. So it has to do with our thoughts, our intellect, our communication, how we, resolve conflict, how we communicate with others. Okay, so it's a lot, what goes on in our mind and the thoughts and the projects that we have, and then typically the fire suit comes in to act on those thoughts. So this is it's the thinking and the planning, it's that energy, cerebral energy. And the Two of Swords is a different card because it's all about needing to make a decision, right, but not doing it or being unable to do it. So sometimes it's referred to as, the stalemate card. It's sort of an impasse. You can see that she's a very strong woman here on the card, right? She's holding, she's holding up here. Let me show you. There are two beautiful birds here that she's actually holding up, right? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. My phone was ringing. So it's a card that it has to do with needing to make a decision, right? But refusing to do it or not being able to do it, refusing to see something. So when this card comes up, it's really a time when we're uncertain about things, right? We're considering our options. It asks us to sort of take a break, take that time. Don't rush forward, right? And the perfect answer will come out when you allow it to, when you sort of quieten your mind and allow whatever this the decision or whatever this answer is, when you allow that to happen, right? So you might be considering options at this time. You might be weighing up different options or trying to make a decision on something or moving ahead with something. Sometimes this card has to do with like when we're not willing to to see what the options are, right? So maybe it's quite an easy decision, but you're sort of being unwilling to see something. Usually in the traditional tarot, the woman, she's in a very defensive position. She has her arms crossed with the swords across her chest, and she has a blindfold on, but she could easily slip the blindfold off and uncross, not stand there so guarded, and then she'd be able to make a decision or see what's in front of her in order to make that decision. So it's a card of needing to choose something, needing to make a decision, but for whatever reason, not being able to, right? And needing to weigh things up, consider everything before you do that. And we'll see how this plays in with the rest of the reading here. We have as the first card, or the energy, as we enter these last 2 weeks of the month, we have the Four of Water card. So this would be the Four of Cups in the traditional deck, followed by another four, the Four of Fire. This would be the Four of Wands. And the outbound energy for this last 2 weeks is the Ten of Earth. This is the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so if we start off here with the Four of Water, this typically has to do with feeling emotionally unfulfilled, right? Usually when we're dealing, well, this is water energy, so it typically has to do with our feelings, our emotions, right? Things that bring joy to our lives, and how our feelings and our emotions sort of, how they affect everything else in our lives, our behavior, our relationships, right? So when this appears, the Four of Cups, the Four of Water, if we think of in the traditional deck, there's, the person has sort of the 3 cups there. There is this new cup being offered to the person, but the person's kind of not noticing it, feeling slightly, disinterested, not really seeing what is in front of them. You see the woman has all of these beautiful pearls here, right? And there's this beautiful, huge pearl that she's holding, okay? But sometimes with the Four of Water, it's because the person isn't really happy with what he or she has, right? And is feeling maybe a little bored with that situation, or if this is a relationship, we are looking more at career and finance here. So this could be, feeling indifference or boredom towards, a job or your career, or something to do with your career. Maybe you've been there for a while. Things don't seem to be progressing for you. Maybe you've been wanting to move up in the company, or maybe you've wanted to go out for or try out for new opportunities within the company, or whatever it is. However this relates to your particular situation, it is a card of it's a card of uncertainty at times, when you sort of you go within, you're really searching for something. And you see, the woman, she's kind of staring mindlessly at the pearl here. And so it's like you want something, you're not really sure exactly what you want. You're unaware of what you currently have going on here, because she does have these 3 pearls. She's really just sort of focusing on that one thing. But there is a sense of boredom surrounding this card. Okay, so this could be, as you move into this last 2-week period, you could be feeling some type of apathy towards the job, or the situation, or wishing to get out of it, wanting to change something to do with the job, maybe the surroundings. Maybe you're trying out for jobs in a different location. Maybe it's that you're not happy with. And that brings you to the Four of Fire. And the Four of Fire is about stability. This is typically thought of as the happy home life. That let me hold it up so you can see her. And it's a card that brings in great stability. So fire energy, this is Wands, and Wands is all about creativity, right? Creative projects, ambition. It has to do with the work that we do, the day-to-day activities that we do, our passion towards, the job that we do, or the work that we do. So it's that type of energy. It's creative energy. It's power, right? It's fiery energy, exciting. And the Four of Fire has to do with typically, a home. This could be you moving home here, right? With this feeling bored with whatever this was, possibly looking to a new location. This could possibly be you, eyeing this new home for you, right? Maybe you haven't been that happy where you're currently living or working, and you're looking at this new place that seems to be more in tune with what you're looking for, right? What the type of home that you're looking for, the type of neighborhood, possibly the jobs that city or area of the country offers you. So it seems as though there's something to do with a possible home move here. And the Four of Wands, it's a card of rejoicing, of celebrating. It's a card that has to do with reaching milestones. So this might, you might be reaching a certain milestone at this point. And if this was in a relationship, this could be sort of a marriage, going from being engaged to getting married, that type of thing. But in your career and work, if we look at it, focusing on those things, this could be you getting a promotion. Maybe this promotion has something to do with you moving to a new location. Maybe with, a promotion, people recognizing you, you receiving the promotion, you're able to, move house, rent the type of, house that you've always wanted, or move to that home that you've always wanted, purchase your first home. But there's stability, right? You can see that she's sitting here, even though this is fire energy, this is wands, she's sitting on, you see, there's a rock. So, I mean, this is solid. This is very solid, stable, something very solid and stable that's coming in here. And this is just, backed up really by the Ten of Earth card as the outbound energy, because this is financial abundance, right? And this card, it doesn't happen overnight, right? You don't achieve the Ten of Earth overnight. This is something, sometimes it's referred to as the inheritance card, right? This is sort of that wealth, that abundance, the money that's built up over time. Sometimes we relate it to receiving inheritance money, or receiving, somebody passes down, a home. It belonged to your, I don't know, great uncle, great aunt, or grandparents, and it's passed down to you. It's that type of wealth that is accumulated over time. But it is another card that is that has to do with stability, right? Because Pentacles, the energy of Pentacles, has to do with, or in this deck, Earth, it has to do with material things, such as our money, right? The work that we do, the money that we receive from the work that we do, business, prosperity. It also has to do with education, so our studies, right? The education, us going back to school. It doesn't, it's wealth built up over time, but also knowledge built up over time. So this could have to do with, and with the completion card here, with the Four of Fire, and having completed reached a milestone, this might be you possibly ending a course, if you're at university, or finishing up a course that you're doing. It could have to do with that as well. But it's a card that has to do with great stability, great financial abundance here, and feeling as though, you really have everything that you need as far as, material things go to live a very abundant and financially secure life. So it's kind of being able to step back and really, look at everything that you have achieved through hard work, right? That you really, you take great pride in what you've been able to build up here. So if this is a promotion, if this is you getting the new job, if this is you getting the house, you've worked hard for it, right? You've earned this. You've earned all this. You see, there's a treasure chest here with all of this money flowing out of it. You've worked long and hard to get where you are right here. But there is some type of decision, and this decision, going back to the Two of Air, this could have to do with the job, right? With the move here, being in two minds about leaving the one job, accepting the new job, moving home. It could have something to do with that. But this is all about, everything is right in front of you. You really just need to sort of take off the blindfold, see things for what they are, because you have very positive energy around you, towards the end of the month going into 2018. This is great energy for you to have to start off the new year, right? Feeling very financially stable, feeling very secure in your job or in your home, and leaving behind this feeling of not being satisfied, right? Whatever this was that wasn't leaving you satisfied, you're leaving that in the past, right? You're moving on, you're achieving greater things towards the end of the month and entering into 2018. Now, the two oracle cards that go along with the career and finance portion of the reading, this one again is from the Sacred Traveler deck, and it's called Desert Passage. And it says, trust there's a divine plan. Okay, and I will read for these two cards, I'll read you the description from the guidebook. The second one, And this one comes from the Life Purpose Oracle card deck by Doreen Virtue. It says, your life purpose involves body work such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. Let me hold this up so you can see it. I love the green on here, right? The greens and blues. Okay, so from beginning with the Desert Passage, let me just read you a few, because it's quite a long description here. But what the main meaning of the card is that, even though it seems that life has areas of barrenness, beneath the surface, life is transforming in accordance with your highest good. Trust that you are guided even if it doesn't always seem like it. There are spiritual guides, allies, and angels surrounding you. Listen with your heart, act on your instincts, believe that the messages you're being given are in your highest good. Get down to basics, trust what you are told. And what the card wants you to know, it says the desert path can seem like a vast wasteland, yet it is in the isolation that immense insights and intuition can emerge. In times of old, sages and visionaries retreated into the desert to connect more deeply with spirit. If in the past you trusted your instincts and then later it seemed to be a mistake, don't let that keep you from trusting your intuition now. Often those things that we thought were mistakes in the past, in hindsight, were the best things possible for us. As you open to your intuition, you will sense messages from and the loving presence of your spirit guides and ancestors. There is a potent plan for your life. Trust. Okay, and the other card, the bodywork card, it says, you drew this card as encouragement to involve yourself in bodywork to heal yourself and others. Receiving and giving massage and other forms of physical care is at the center of your life purpose. It appears that you have healing hands and have naturally been drawn to the healing arts for some time. This card is validation that this is a fulfilling path for you to go down. The challenge is for you to take excellent care of your own body as you find avenues to provide care for others. You're naturally a giver, and that includes sending healing energy to your clients and loved ones. Be sure to include yourself in this mix and take the time for exercise, massage, and receiving treatments as well. You're encouraged to take classes that mirror your natural interests in various healing modalities. Taking an eclectic approach to bodywork will ensure that these interests stay keen and at a high level. And that's interesting because here, with this, the Desert Passage and trying to figure out sort of which path to take, right? And trusting in your intuition and trusting in sort of what intuitively you already know, that really ties in with the overall energy, this Two of Air, because there is some type of decision. So I'd say, in choosing between whatever these things are here, right, as you move into this last 2 weeks, just take off the blindfold and trust in your intuition. As when you think about if you're choosing between leaving the job or staying, or if you're choosing between moving home and or between two homes, which one is going to be the best for you? Just trust in when you think of it, when you think of the house, when you think of the job, it's the one that you feel excited about, right? Or you feel happy about, or it gives some type of sense of ease. Trust in that. That's not just, sometimes people, say, oh no, that's just nonsense, or those are messages that are coming in for you. So trust in that. And maybe that will enable you to remove this blindfold, see things for what they are, and make this decision. And there could be some of you, Cancer, out there, right, who do work with body work. And if you don't, and if this is something that you have considered, and if this is one of the options or one of the things that you are sort of thinking of starting your own business or changing career to do something that works, that has to do with that. It's interesting because these cards are almost, identical in color here. So it seems as though, if what you are doing right now isn't fulfilling you, and, this is something that you've been considering, I would say that this is saying, go with that. Go with whatever it is that you have been considering, because it's only going to bring you greater stability, right? Financial security, and also happiness, I mean, that's definitely, I can see that here with these two oracle cards that go along with that. Okay, so moving on, let's get on to the love and romance portion of the reading. So we have, I'll start off again with the overall energy for the last 2 week period, or the last 2 weeks of December. The overall energy for love and romance for Cancer, we have Breathe. And this is card number 29 from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Okay, this is a beautiful card. I hope you can see it. It's kind of faint, I know, in this lighting. Then we have, moving into these final 2 weeks, the first card, the Fates. This is card number 17. Followed by card number 44, Thinker. And the outbound energy is card number 45, Time to Go. So we have card number 44 and 45. And then I'll go over, but I have two oracle cards. One is from the Whispers of Love deck, and the card that you got is Love Endures. And from the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue, we have Let Your Friends Help You. Okay, so let me go through the cards and get into the meaning of the cards here. So starting off with our overall energy for the 2 week period, we have card number 29, which is called Breathe. And as you would imagine, the card has to do with the importance of taking that time to breathe, right? To sort of slow down, to meditate, to have patience, right? To really slow down and consider everything. Meditate on if this is a decision, or meditate on what's going on in your life right now. And really focus on your breathing. You know, it's sometimes we rush through, our day-to-day lives are so hectic that we kind of rush through everything and don't often take the time to just, sit in silence, even if it's for a couple of minutes, to really allow yourself to, breathe in, take in the smells, that are around you. If you have candles or incense, or if it's just flowers, and then, pay attention, focus on your breathing, focus on really trying to quiet your mind, right? Silence your thoughts, and then allow yourself to focus on whatever it is that you're dealing with, okay? So if this is, thinking about a relationship, this could be you just needing to kind of take things more slowly, right? Just breathe, take a breath. Don't rush things. Allow the relationship to, if you're just beginning the relationship with somebody, allow things to progress naturally. Don't try to force things, right? Take things easy. Sometimes it's easy to get very, kind of caught up in what's going on and rush and want to rush through things. But no, you need to be patient. Take your time, and really focus on. It's important to focus on you and being present, right? And you can see that the woman here, she's meditating. And what's really present here is, you see there's sort of, in the middle, we have the picture of, the higher self kind of in the middle of the woman. So it's her focusing on herself, right? Allowing her this time to quieten her mind, to calm herself, right? So we'll see how this plays in with the rest of the cards, but it definitely seems as if, taking things more slowly might be needed. Let's start off with the Fates. So this will be the energy as you enter into the last 2 weeks. And this is card number 17. And as you would imagine, fate has to do with, or is tied to karma, right? And there are karmic reasons for certain situations appearing in our lives, and for certain people to appear in our lives, right? And sometimes we might not always understand why that person is appearing at that time, but there's definitely some type of fated element or karmic tie surrounding. This could be a relationship, right? We're focusing here, doesn't necessarily have to be romantic in nature. I mean, could be, right? Or this could just be a friendship. This could be, other relationships that you have with, friends, family members, or it could be romantic in nature. This could be having to do with somebody in your life. But what it has to do with is acceptance, right? And understanding and accepting that there are certain things that happen, or that appear in our lives, that happen in our lives, that we honestly have no control over, right? They're fated. And it's sort of accepting, the fact that we don't have control over those things, right? Knowing what they are, accepting. It's kind of like that, the serenity prayer that, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's that type of energy that surrounds this card, right? There are certain things in your life that you can control, right? That you do have control over. And so fine, you can control that. And, if I look at going back to the career and finance reading, all of these are minor arcanas, which tells me that, you are very much, or you have within your power, along with the two of air here, it's within your control, right, to make this change. Obviously the universe kind of steps in and allows certain things to appear at the correct time in divine timing, but things are very much in your control here. With, this is different with the Fates card, because the Fates card really says that, Spirit has a greater purpose for you, for, regarding relationships, regarding people who are coming into your life. And it's really asking you to accept that, right? And it also has to do with accepting others, right? And if we think about relationships, focus on what you can change and kind of let go of or accept the things that you can't. And we know that it's impossible to change anybody, right? We cannot change other people. So if this is you in a relationship, or you're getting into a relationship, all you can really do is, to work on yourself and try to be the best version of yourself in that relationship, because you'll never change the other person. So, you have to accept that other person for who they are, and not try to make them into what you want them to be, right? Nobody will ever be who you want them to be. They are how they are. And so if you're with that person, this card says, to really accept them and love them unconditionally, right? That's part of our spiritual journey, is to learn how to love others unconditionally. If this is, definitely a relationship, then it's a fated relationship, right? That person is supposed to be in your life. And when you think about that fated or that karmic soulmate kind of relationship, it sounds wonderful, but they're not always the easiest of relationships. A lot of times, with a karmic relationship, the person comes into our life to teach us a lesson, or we're meant to teach them a lesson, right? And so it's not always just roses and, happiness. Sometimes it's difficult, because, the soulmate is kind of that, supposed to be that mirror of ourselves. So sometimes it's not easy to look in the mirror and see the what's wrong with ourselves, I guess. So it's that type of thing where, yes, that relationship, it's fated, but you might be there to help each other turn into, the best version that you can be, or that each of you can be, right? Which leads us into the Thinker card. Okay, so we have, this is card number 44, and then I showed you we had card number 45, time to go, immediately after this card. So focusing first on the card number 44, this card has to do with being analytical, being logical, right? Trying to focus on sort of the situation at hand, seeing things as they are, which might, this breathing and sort of not rushing things, trying to be more patient, that kind of goes along with this Thinker card, because it's you sort of meditating and thinking about what's going on in the relationship right now, right? But also remember, when you're in a relationship, your relationships are not logical, right? Love is not logical. So it's impossible for you to sort of try to try to handle your relationships in the same way that you would, say, handle your work, right? There's no logic to love, to, those types of feelings. So this might be you kind of weighing up the pros and cons of the relationship. And if so, then you might be considering, okay, this relationship, I feel as though it's a fated one. I'm considering whether this is really what I want from my life, so you're weighing everything up right here. But it seems as though what you have, after it, as you move towards the end of the month, is the time to go. And this card has to do with endings, right? It's a card of endings, of completion, of walking away from something because you have nothing else to learn from that situation. Kind of makes me think of kind of like the Death card in the Major Arcana, right? But this is more, or possibly the Six of Swords, or the Eight of Cups, right? Which is turning your back and walking away from something that no longer serves you. But it's time for that right now. So by taking time out, it seems like time is really important in this message. So take time out here to consider everything. Breathe, right? Try to slow things down. Don't rush. So it's all about taking this time. But it seems as though, if after taking this time to weigh up the pros and the cons, you come to the decision that, the best thing would be for, you to move on, but move on by yourself, right? If this is beginning a relationship and you're kind of weighing up whether you really want to enter into that relationship or not, this card it talks about endings and completion. And you're at the end of one journey, haven't begun the next journey, right? But you're kind of taking stock of what you've learned. And it's, it's kind of a time of transition, but it's also a time where, destiny is calling you. You're sort of answering that, but you're really being, you're being very cautious. You're being careful here, and you're also being guided to be cautious, to listen, right? To take this time out, before you make this decision, whatever this might be, right? So this could have to do with letting go, right? And thinking of a relationship, this could actually be, you walking away from that person, so ending that relationship, breaking up. Could be the end of a soul contract. And we have the Fates card over here, so, this could, sometimes it does speak of releasing, right? Releasing the other person, and maybe not because, it might not even have to do with, not loving the person anymore, but it's more about, or more on a spiritual level, what you had to learn from each other. Sometimes we come into this life with that contract, that soul contract with the other person. So once we've completed it, once it's complete, then that's it. That's all that we have to receive from that person or to give to that person. And so the person, it's time to go. It's time to move on. So, but it's also important to remember the endings are always new beginnings, right? So it's, if this is to do with, this portion of the reading is really to do with relationships. So whatever this relationship is here for you, it shows that, and this is interesting because I was just looking here at the two cards and it has love endures coming after this time to go. Let me read you what this card says. Hold on, let me get the guidebook here. Because I think this card, it speaks of, here it says, love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. No matter what is going on, you're being reminded that love can endure all things. Take positive steps to help create the change necessary to get through this. Release your fear and recognize that this love will last. Take a step back so you're more able to remember this truth. Love lasts. So this is interesting. This might be, maybe this is you needing to not necessarily end things, but maybe, take a break. This might just be you needing to take this time out for yourself to figure out where you want to go, to figure out if you want to continue with this person or not. But it seems as though, and I do think that this has to do with this fated connection here, right? That this love endures, because sometimes, I mean, you might end up, or you might end a relationship with a soulmate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the love ends, right? It's just because your soul contract, this fated aspect of the relationship just ended, right? It had to end. It was meant to end, right? But that doesn't mean that the love ends. So this card says love endures. Maybe this is just you needing to take some time out, right? This might not have to be the ending of the relationship. It could be the ending of a particular cycle, right? And maybe after weighing things up, maybe you do come to the decision that, it's time to go, but maybe in a different direction. Maybe it's a time to, move out of you're weighing up everything here, but moving out of one phase of the relationship into another, right? And it seems as though, whatever you're debating here, friends might be particularly important during the next 2 weeks. It says, ask for and accept support for others. And this oracle card, let me read you the message. It says, the romance angels are helping you via other people to the degree that you'll allow this assistance to occur. This card indicates that you need to be more willing to ask for guidance, especially within the context of your love life. For instance, discuss your feelings, hopes, and dreams, then allow others to help you. Perhaps they'll offer support, give advice, or even know of a potential partner among their acquaintances. This card is a signal that you'd benefit from spending quality time with your friends. If you're currently in a relationship, you'll get renewed enthusiasm by having regular outings with good friends. If you're single, then spending time with these special people will get you out of the house and bring in fresh energy. Your friends may also introduce you to a wonderful romantic partner. So maybe as you, work through whatever this period of contemplation is, maybe your friends are going to come in and be of specific assistance, right, during this time. And you see that they're sort of sitting, they're staring at her there, they're trying to come up with an answer. So, it's okay, ask for the support, accept the support from others, because it seems as though that's going to be important as you make this decision, whatever it might be. Okay, so I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way, Cancer. I look forward to reading for you again. Please make sure to check out the channel. I will be posting the 2018 overviews. Those are coming, so make sure that you check those out, and that will be for each month of the upcoming year, just sort of an overview of each month. And those will be coming out over the next week. Okay, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of December, and know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light. Bye.